flow, we on 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 flow, we on
Hey, I'm Gemma, and this is Mr. Kitty. Welcome to Nocturnal. It's our first on Channel 31, so we're all a little bit nervous, but we're really excited to bring to you a new underground perspective of the Sydney music and dance scene. Our program will be focusing mainly on local artists producing and experimenting with electronic music. Our aim is to bring the atmosphere of a really good weekend into your lounge room. So for those of you unfamiliar, you can get to know what's really going on out there. And for those old school bangers, you can maybe see yourself or some of your friends on our show. We'll be going around to parties, talking to promoters, DJs, punters, and we'll have production and promotion tips for budding musicians and partiers. On tonight's program, there'll be footage from Tampert, a regular techno party in Sydney, where I talk with Mark Champion, the promoter. Scotty and Ingrid will have a chat with local hip-hop artist Stress One, and Marshall will be reviewing some records for Psycho Records. So we hope you enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, we're about to check out Scott's production sessions with Stressed One from the Sydney-based hip-hop crew The Outlanders. The guys have been working on some fat tracks making their new album, so let's head on in and see what they've got to say, hey? Hey Scott.
Hey, how you doing?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Stressed One, nice to meet you.
Yep, tonight we're just in the studio. We're just going to be producing a couple of tracks. Just going to, Stress One's going to lay down some tracks for us, and we're going to see how good a sound we can get from it. We're going to normalise all our mixes, which is getting as loud as we can without actually clipping it. For all you budding producers out there, I'll just show you how to get something from an amateur to a professional mix. So let's just get down and we can chuck some interesting effects on there and see how we go. Let's do it.
Sometimes I think about the past, but it never lasts. It's hard to explain, so to put it another way.
First questions first. How long have you been involved in the industry for?
Well, mate, I've been involved in the Aussie hip-hop industry for about 2.5 years now. It started with DRC and myself doing Team Isoza. That was a crew with 2 other MCs.
Things I've seen and some of mine's unclean, a mean machine. Might I lean in the direction of discretion, holding back my aggression till the hip-hop session begins.
Up with the melodies and the rhymes, and where do they come from, and what do you sample? Do you kind of make things up yourself, or do you sample from other things much, or how does that work?
We pull a few samples off old vinyl. Yeah, but I guess largely it's mostly we source our own material. Like if we need a bass line, we play it. If we need a piano line, we play it. There is a bit of loop work, but it is mostly just one hits and stuff that we record. Like most of our drum tracks are made up of one hit samples, etc. So.
Open season if you've got the intention. Intervention of the highest order is what this country needed, but defeated it was never to come. The Aboriginal overrun, it was spears versus guns. The yearning sun of civilization had begun to burn in a convict nation.
And when you're making those tracks up, what usually comes first to your head? Do you think of a melody? Do you put a track down and then you write your lyrics? Do you do it the other way around, or is it just different for every track? What's your views on that? How does that work?
It's different for every track. There's no rule. 9 times out of 10, the beat will be there first, and it. Actually, to be honest, like I guess the beats and the rhymes are always made separately. It's just a matter of we're sitting around at home, you know, writing whatever we think to whatever beats, you know, not necessarily one of ours. And then, you know, we'll just hook up and it's like, okay, this is today's beat.
Till the hip-hop session begins, dwelling on the beast within, the beast within. I tonight, not cry. Behind the lies, the truth was that people died for no reason. Open season if you've got the intention. Intervention of the highest order is what this country needed, but defeated it was never to come.
And I suppose another big question. Obviously, hip hop is so prominent in today's, you know, TV ads, ad commercials. all those types of things. You can always hear a hip-hop rap on a pop track these days. What do you think about that? And do you think it's going to end up being pop hip-hop in the future? Do you think there'll be two different type things, or how's that work?
I think that largely you can compare, well, at least in Australia, what's happening in the hip-hop scene to what happened in the early 90s with grunge. And I think you saw with, you know, like, say, give a band like Nirvana, for example, created this whole wave of Australian replicants or imitations, whatever you want to call it. And so, that's what we're inundated with. Triple J, 2SER, anybody, you know, they'll all throw it down your throat. And I think it's just a matter of hip-hop has finally stepped up to the forefront at the beginning, you know, towards the end of late 90s, early 2000s. And I think that, yeah, the tradition will be leaning towards a more of a hip-hop kind of, yeah.
A bright light of a spark of wisdom. It took us to be one in a million. Maybe now you understand why we do what we do. We lose ourselves in beers, bloods and boobs because we choose to lose our moral indignation. Apathy takes its place and...
Cool. That was Stress One from the Outlanders. How good was he?
Oh, what an awesome session.
That was
So
awesome, yeah.
now we've actually got the easy part of it done. Tell us about the hard part of putting it on the computer. Are there any specs you use to get it all laid out into track? Or?
Well, basically, yeah. What we've done here, we've recorded it all on the computer, and you can see Ben's vocals right there. You can zoom up there, and you can just see that's actually Ben. That's
Wow.
Ben's words right there. It's just turned it into its own little picture, more or less. And getting it from here to a CD, first you want to put a nice little effect on, something I like to call reverb. You need to put it on all vocal and all those types of things. On drums, you can hear it in anything. Reverb basically introduces a bit of noise as though you're speaking in a small room or a big room, and it just gives it some colour and just brings it from the amateur realm to the professional level.
Which is what you want.
That's exactly what you want. So basically, if you just solo this...
Live out your life, take out your regrets on your wife and children. One day you'll the silence of millions of violence.
Yep, so we just want to add just a tiny bit of reverb,
Yeah.
and listen to what an improvement this makes. Listen to this overall, this is just great.
Live out your life, take out your regrets on your wife and children. One day you'll probably kill them. The silence.
How good's that?
Excellent.
That was even just a touch too much reverb. And then basically what you've got to remember is if you want to put something on a CD, a lot of people just put it straight on. You've got to do something called mastering compression. That's one of the most important things you can do to get as loud as you can and as crystal clear as you can. So anyone will do. You can get a free plugin, which is something that you just put straight into on the computer, and it just turns it into as loud as you can. Just any kind of compressor will do. You can get free ones, you can pay for expensive ones.
Cool.
And yeah, just do that. That's the number one rule. So
And then you've got yourself a brand new album.
happy producing.
Cool.
Thanks for that.
Thanks so much for that, Scotty. We'll see you next time on the production scene.
We will indeed. Cool. See you later.
See you
around
guys.
like a record.
We're here tonight at Tamford, on Castle Ray Street, and we're going to be interviewing Mark Champion, who's one of the main men that actually put on Tamford. I can hear a pumping bass line, so let's go and check it out and see where Mark's at. For joining us, by the way. Yeah. I just wanted to know, for the viewers out there who haven't heard of Tamford, can you just give us a brief history on where and when it all started?
Tamford started about 2 years ago at the Bat and Ball. It started off as a weekly techno, booty, electro, hardcore, underground collective of music. Every week, yeah, the Bat and Ball. We've moved on to kind of once a month and bigger events. And it was just started to kind of expose some of the talent in Sydney that weren't getting a go of playing out and, yeah, having a go in Sydney. Yeah.
So electro, hardcore, booty, it's a bit of a mixture. How do you like decide what goes into a show, and who do you have playing for you?
There's always a residents playing at Tampere, which is our group of friends which we started off at. But in the way of music, I just like to have good quality music on. It doesn't have to be one particular style for a night, like a flow over the night, but I like to incorporate techno, hardcore, everything on the one night, not just have straight up techno, trying to make it a bit more interesting for people that haven't been along and hear a bit more music, yes.
And so Tampere is coming up to its second birthday. Like you've been going for 2 years, so there must be some, standout parties that you've had over the time. Can you give us one of your favourites, or some disasters that may have happened over the time?
Yeah, there's been a few memorable moments. To name a couple, the Bat and Ball, when Mark N played a hip-hop set, would have to be one of the best moments I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, the guy is amazing, and it's just unbelievable to see the talent that he has. And also the first birthday that we had, it was our first Friday night party. Normally we have Sunday night, so it's our first Friday night, and we had 500 people turn up, so to get a turnout like that was amazing, to have the support in Sydney for that, so yeah.
Especially in Sydney, because it's a relatively small scene, so 500 people in Sydney is pretty mad. I really love the New Year's spree. That was mad. Like, how do you put on a free party? It must take a lot of work and a lot of dedication by everybody. How does that work?
It's the one party a year we kind of do for all our viewers and all the people that come down and support us, because it is a lot of effort. We put in a lot of effort to do what we do, but we appreciate everyone that does come down and support. So we feel once a year that we should give something back to everyone and make, for showing their support to us. And we do a free bush party, and that is an amazing party. Like, you get about 600-700 people in the middle of the bush, and words can't describe the feeling to see that in front of you. It's just amazing.
So like getting out international DJs, national like DJ Bold and Mark Hawkins, how hard is it to bring someone from the other side of the world over to Sydney, to play at some small place that he's never heard about? How hard is that?
It's very hard, especially they're not a huge name, because it's too expensive to bring the huge names out. So someone like him, it's just very hard to get people to a night, and a lot of planning, usually up to 9 months of planning can go into bringing out one of those acts, and a lot of head stress. So like, you just want it to go right, and if it doesn't, you end up losing a lot of money. So yeah, but it's all worthwhile in the end, I think. Just getting the talent and that type of music out to Australia. So it's good to hear.
So who are some of your major influences then, your inspirations for starting to be a DJ, like back in your basement or bedroom, or who inspired you to become a techno DJ?
The first inspiration would have to be Sydney DJ Manson. I heard him on the radio about 5 years ago, and that's the first time I ever heard techno, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And the guy's an animal, so yeah, he would be locally inspiration for doing what I do. And internationally, a few range of people. Mark Hawkins is probably my favourite live act, along with Space DJs and Subhead. There's a few, but yeah.
And you're playing a versus set with Manson tonight, so that must be pretty cool. Have you done that before?
I've done it once before on the radio and it was awesome. So yeah, I'm looking forward tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what can we expect you to be playing tonight? What are we going to hear you play?
A lot of tracks from Chicago, a grindy kind of booty tech set. So yeah, a little bit interesting.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, thanks for coming on our show, Mark. It's been a pleasure having you.
Welcome to In the Vaults with Marshall. Got a few tracks for you today, all on the tech variety, more of the freaked out stuff, which is what I've been getting into lately. The first track I've got here is Tok Tok's off Tok Tok's Tora Bora album. It's 3 LPs, 13 tracks. Every track is a winner. Check it out. This is the first track now. The second track is off Michael Forshaw's latest release on Chan and Mike's. We've been eagerly awaiting 7 and 8, but it's a long time coming. This is Mark Hawkins' track off Chan and Mike 6, Buggered at Die Bahnhof. Check it out. US label Framework, usually making crazy off-the-wall bassy techno, but this one is mixed by DJ Godfather, giving that Detroit ghetto tech sound. It's really fat. Check it This is DJ Dion's newest release on Projects, which is Ghetto Fabulous. It's top release of all Ghetto Tech tracks. He's slowed it down a bit this time. It's the Chi-Town sort of vocals over jack and bassy techno. It's great.
Daddy, can I ride it?
a recent label, hasn't had many releases. It's actually the second release on the label. It's by Mark Hawkins from Nottingham in England. It's more of a crossover ghetto tech, grinding techno sound. That's it from the vault this week. We're locking it up. This is Marshall. See you around the traps.
For more information on the Tampered guys, check out www.tampered.net. And if you want to send in some demo tapes or let us know of any upcoming parties, you can email us at nocturnal@icorecords.com. So for all you night owls out there, keep tuning in to Nocturnal, and we'll see you on the dance floor. See ya! Tuned into Nocturnal. Hi, I'm Gemma.
Hi, I'm Ingrid. Journey with us through the sights and sounds of Sydney as we bring our passion for party to you.
We've got a huge program lined up for you tonight. DJ Urban from Chicago. We have some footage from him at the Globe, so that should be good. Also, DeSico, that no talent hack. Yes, that is his name. We've got some footage of him as well. And yeah, he does like a mixed bag of pop satirising kind of thing.
Mixes it all up, takes pop music, cuts it up and makes his own mishmash.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've also got Marshall's reviews on tonight. He'll be showing us a few new vinyl, what's out in the market, and his little talent tips. And also our crew member, Nicole's going to come in and she's going to show us some footage of the Absent Minded party that she's one of the promoters for, and she'll tell us all about it and how to get into them, and should be a great show.
Yeah. So let's check it out. DJ Urban,
Cool.
go. We're here at FBI radio station, 94.5 FM. So we'll be doing a little bit of filming with DJ Urban, who's out from Chicago, doing a little bit of booty techno set. So yeah, that should be good. Let's check it out.
So, Urban.
Yes, sir.
How you going?
All right, man. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Is this your first time in Australia?
Yes, sir.
It is?
Yes.
Yeah? Where will you be playing? You are down at the Globe last night for Tampered. Where else are you going to be?
Next weekend in Adelaide and Brisbane. And I think that's about it.
That's about it?
Yeah. Oh, no, we do have next Sunday.
We do have next Sunday.
Tampered
We do.
at
The Bat and Ball.
the Bat and Ball.
You've been known for many different styles of techno. Apart from what you've been playing tonight, how did the other things that you play differ?
I do a lot of house stuff. I play like techno out of the country because the techno scene in the States is pretty non-existent. So, yeah, I do that. Kind of working on some hip-hop stuff right now. See what happens with that. I mean, I really do enjoy techno, and ghetto is like kind of where my inspiration came so kind of do like the ghetto techno stuff. I just figured like we used to listen to radio shows all the time, and we'd always listen to the mixes, and we couldn't get the stuff on like CDs or whatever. So it's like, oh, I love this song, you know. And then we're like, well, you can't get it unless you get it on vinyl. So we started buying records, and from there we're like, well, might as well DJ, you know. You got the records, might as well learn to mix.
Public Housing Records. The second release has just come out on that.
Right, Public
Tell us a bit about that.
It's initially it was supposed to be similar to Dance Mania, ghetto house type of thing. The first two releases are all ghetto. I'm gonna try and move it into kind of like a jack and techno ghetto type of thing. You know, do stuff like that. The first two releases are DJ Nathan's. The third one is DJ Nasty from Detroit. It has remixes from Slobodan, Smash, and Angel Alana.
Oh, any residencies in the U.S.?
No.
No.
We do like a one-off thing, me and my partner, my roommate, Angel Alanis. We do a free Wednesday thing every once in a while. But that's about it, real small, low-key, it's like invite-only type of thing.
As well as DJing, you're also known as for producing. How do you get involved in that?
Actually, through Angel and I worked together at a local record store, and he already had a couple releases out at that point in time, and I started hanging out with him at his studio and working on projects with him, and kind of just went from there.
So even though Detroit's known around the world, and a few other places, I mean even Chicago is really well known for house and whatever, even sort of being the birthplace of house music,
Right.
You're saying there's not a lot going on techno-wise in the States at the moment?
Not really. There really never has. It's not that I've been subjected to. I mean, there's decent parties here and there in certain places, but there's nothing that I would say that's regular that compares to anything I've played in other countries.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure Detroit has their own little underground type things and whatnot, but
It's never gone mainstream?
not at all.
What about New York and LA?
Actually, I've never been to New York City. I know they still do a lot of rave stuff, but they incorporate like hardcore and drum and bass and other stuff like that. I'm sure they do bring out techno acts, but again, it's kind of more of a variety type event. I'm sure if they do.
Why do you think that is? Like, how do you think why that situation's sustained? You know, why is there a lack of techno
Honestly,
events in the
I really
States?
don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
Does it get radio support, like college radio in the States or anything playing?
Probably on like independent stations and stuff like that, college stuff, maybe, you know, mix shows here and there, but there's some decent mix shows back in the day, like in the early 90s and stuff, but even now their mix shows like on the same stations or similar stations is all like commercial, progressive, and like trance and just more clubby type stuff, you know, cheesy remixes, stuff like that.
Yeah, right. So what's the club scene like?
In
where you're hanging out, you're living in Chicago at the
I'm
moment?
in LA now. I just moved about a year ago. Primarily hip hop, progressive and trance, and there's a decent deep house scene, but it's more like really mellow stuff, and you know, we'll probably pull in maybe 300 to 400 people.
Yeah, and it's pretty much all in clubs?
Yeah, all clubs. Even like the ravey type stuff, they have like rave venues, pretty much, you know.
So outdoor parties, free parties?
Actually, no, they do have, in California, there's a decent amount of outdoor parties. And they do like parties out in the desert and stuff on occasion. You get a lot more attention, I guess, from other people that are established after putting out music, because, you know, there's DJs are kind of dime a dozen, I guess, at this point. So, you know, you get a lot more respect from people that probably wouldn't talk to you otherwise, but it helps, I guess, for networking purposes and whatnot. But I meet a lot of people also through traveling. I've probably met an equivalent amount of people through my travels as I have through my production. So
you must have quite a collection. How many records do you have at the moment?
about 50 crates.
Yeah, right. When you're travelling, you're usually taking tracks with you, usually playing somewhere, or you just go travelling for the sake of travelling?
No, just for gigs and whatnot. It's the majority of my traveling, unless it's within the States, you know, I kind of just go visit friends and family and whatnot.
How do you find playing in Europe?
I like it a lot. Techno scene is really decent there, which is nice. People are always very friendly.
Right across Europe, or just?
I've played like 6 or 7 different countries in Europe. Techno scene I've noticed is best in like that I've been Germany and Spain. For what?
Your future.
Oh, my future. Fuck. Tend on doing some drinking and working on some music.
Alright, Reese is running low on beer, so we better get back in there.
Indeed, it's about that time.
Yeah, thank you for coming along, Reese.
Thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate
Hope to
it.
see you back soon,
Definitely.
mate.
I'd like to thank the Tamper guys and everybody for having me. You guys for the interview. Had a great time.
Alright, man. Catch you later.
Cheers.
Yeah. What's your most loved possession? Most loved possession?
It was his girlfriend, his woman.
Oh, apart from my girlfriend, it would have to be... Good answer.
Favorite clothing outfit would have to be something really funky, really abstract, just something, you know, your own style, definitely.
For sure, just like this madness tie that you've got on. Do us a little parade of that.
Definitely, had to go a little funky today, you know?
Definitely.
It's definitely a tie Saturday.
If the sky was any other colour, what would it be? Green. Green? Green. You're quick off the mark. I am. You're like the 5th person to say that tonight, I reckon. Well, it's just my favourite colour.
If you could be anyone in the world for a day, who would you be?
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel.
Can you break dance?
Nah.
Do you want to just try bust a move for us anyway?
Break dance.
That's the spirit. That's what I want to see. There you go. There you have it right there.
Hey Jam, that was some hot footage. DJ Urban cuts it up really well on the decks with his tech mismatch.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. Yeah, it was cool having him over. At the moment now, though, we're going to be chatting with Nicole, who's one of the promoters for Absinthe Minded, a free party, and she's also one of our crew members, so it's cool to have her on the show. So, welcome, Nicole.
Hey guys,
welcome,
thanks,
Nicole. Yay!
So tell us, this absent-minded party, where was it held?
That was held in the old army bunkers, actually. Yeah, they were used for World War II. I'm not quite sure what happened back then, but the whole place is just deserted. It's just an unreal place. It took a bit of effort to get up there, believe me. My car took a bit of a beating, but yeah,
it's a bit
it
of a
was
walk, I heard.
Yeah, about 20 minutes maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's cool.
And Nick, tell us about the music that you partied to that night.
Oh, all techno, man. It was just hardcore techno, just all over the place, really. Had a couple of live acts playing, so that was pretty wicked.
How many people ended up rocking up then?
I would say maybe 200. We were kicking on to at least 11 or something like that.
11 the next morning?
Yeah.
Wicked.
Fun.
Fun.
Yeah, it's great.
And how can people find out about more of these?
Oh, well, they can go to our
bunker
website, Fly to Prohibited Projects. Yeah, so I took quite a bit of footage at this party. It was a pretty good night, hey.
Cool.
And let's check it out after Marshall's review.
Okay, so Marshall's review and then some of the bunker party. Let's check it out, guys.
Thanks.
G'day people and welcome to In the Vaults with Marshall. We've got a special treat for you today. We've got techno, check them out. First of all, we've got Spastic by Plastic Man on +8 Records. A classic tune built up with lots of crazy drums going on. Just build up and let the dance floor go crazy. Here it is. Next up, we've got a modern classic by Underground Resistance DJ Rolando called Knights of the Jaguar. This is a crazy tune that builds up with awesome strings and emotional vibe. Gets the dance floors going crazy, from house parties to techno parties. Everybody loves it. What can I say about Jeff Mills' Bells? It is probably the best techno track ever. Every time anybody plays it, everybody goes crazy. Awesome track, and when you hear Jeff Mills play it, you'll never forget it. Using a sample from the classic 80s track Yellow, Richie Hawtin deconstructs and then reconstructs Minus Orange. Oh yeah. This is a classic techno compilation I picked up a few years back now. It's a triple pack. It's got some of the best techno tracks ever made by artists such as DBX, Losing Control. It's got CJ Boland's Horsepower, Slam, Positive Education, and of course Rhythm is Rhythm, aka Derek May, with Strings of Life. Here it is. This is one of the best techno tracks ever. Alright, it's time to go. Hope you enjoyed your stay with me. We're locking up the vaults for another week. See you around.
I'm DeSicco, that no talent hack, and I guess I got started 6 years ago writing electronic music and playing around Sydney, and then maybe 2 years ago started doing bootleg mashups and more unofficial remix work and distributing it on the internet. And since then, well, that was what I started doing as DeSicco, and then that's just kind of blown out of proportion.
I'm the hottest round. I told y'all mother, y'all can stop me now. Listen to me now. I'm lasting 20 rounds, and if you want me, come on get me now. Is you with me now? The biggie bounce. I know you dig the way I switch my style. People sing around, now people gather round, now people jump around. Get your freak on, get your freak on.
It was surprising at first that, you know, you could get the kind of international notoriety that just through the internet and doing a bunch of remixes. So I went over to London, played this tiny little club in Soho called Bastard, and it was completely packed, and you know, everyone's really into the bootleg scene over there, and it was crazy. And then went to Germany and played some gigs in Berlin and Hamburg, and it went down really well. I've never really been in that much trouble for it. Had some trouble with the International Phonographic Association, I think it's called, who requested that I remove a lot of the content off the web because they claimed it was a breach of copyright to be distributing it for free, the remixes of pop tracks. So, and then I got into trouble over misuse of a trademark, by Ministry of Sound. This is Ministry of Shit, the compilation album. I don't think, I'm just not worth pursuing. I'm not worth suing or chasing after because I don't have a lot of money. And the damages that I've done, if they could manage to convince a court that I had actually damaged their reputation or or lost the money, if they could prove that, then I don't imagine I'd lost them a lot of money. So what are they going to, how much money are they going to get out of me? It's just not worth their while. It really takes these things to get into the consciousness of the public in a really big way. And so I'll play gigs and half the crowd will think, oh, it's passé, it's so over, you know, you should give it up, it's terrible. And then the rest of the crowd is like, wow, they've never seen it before, and they're like, oh, that's great, that's great. And I've been doing it for 2 years and I'm really bored of it, and I think it's really passé. I started the record label as a bit of a joke, because people were asking me if they could buy CDs of the music that I had for free to download on the web. And because people that don't have broadband were finding it difficult to download it all over a connection, and just thought, oh, it's easier, can we just buy a CD off you? It's actually got cover versions of Nirvana, Sonic Youth, Beyonce, Lionel Richie, and I'd been in touch with a lot of these people who were working in the same area, and they were all, you know, they were cool and they would probably be down with it, and they were. I just put out another album by a guy who's on here called AC3P, which is a work of AC/DC cover versions, and they're all very electronic, IDM, dance music sort of oriented. But it's great, and it's out now. Just releasing an album by a guy, Greg Gillis, who's from Cleveland in the US, called Girl Talk. We've got an album coming out in the next, it should be back in about a week or maybe 2 weeks, and that's a co-release with Illegal Art, who are sort of online identity. I think of it all as just being bastard pop. You know, pop music bastardized and destroyed or played with or manipulated or covered or, you know, anything, some sort of absurd relationship with pop music, and reusing it in some way that people might not have expected.
How you doing, man? Is this your first time at the Globe?
Yeah.
First time, what do you reckon?
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah? Who's your favourite producer, DJ?
Don't have one.
If the sky wasn't blue, what colour would you make it?
Purple. Who's your favourite DJ, producer?
DJ, John Ferris, Nervous.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bit of trance, bit of anthems, you know?
Are you a crusher or a folder of toilet paper?
I'd have to say a crusher.
Who should play at the next field day?
Field day, let me see. I reckon if we get plump DJs in there,
hell yeah.
So now you've seen what we've been up to the last few weeks. I hope that gets you guys pumped up to get out into your local area and see what's happening. Jem, I know that the area of Newtown and Enmore's got a free weekly drum and bass night happening at the Sly Fox, which is on Enmore Road. Shuey plays there most Thursday nights from about 8 p.m, and he's a local D&B DJ from Sydney, so go check it out. There's half price cocktails, which can't be beat,
definitely.
and you'll have a great night, so protein.
Cool. Yeah, well, more free events. New Year's free. It's going to be massive. There's a drum and bass stage, a techno stage, a electro, booty, experimental stage. So there's about 5 different stages. It's free, it's in the bush, and it should be crazy. There's lots of fun to be had that night. So yeah, check it out for sure.
And how do they find out about that?
Just keep an eye out at the moment for posters. There will be a 1900 number, but yeah, we've got to keep it fairly hush because it's illegal, so yeah.
And as always, we want to sort of promote parties that you guys are into. So if there's anything we've left out on tonight's show or anything coming up in the near future, please let us know. Drop us a line at nocturnal_ch31@yahoo.com.au and we'll answer your queries and get footage that you want to put on the show. Won't be a problem.
Yep. Well, we hope you enjoyed the show and we'll see you in a fortnight.
Definitely.
Thank you.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
What's your most loved possession?
Nocturnal, first episode of 2004. We're stoked. I hope you guys are. We're going to take you tonight through some footage from Speedy J, which is a wicked party at the Chinese Laundry, had not long ago. And we're also going to see Scott's production sessions. He's going to show you some tricks of the trade. And what else, Jem?
Yeah, I talked to the guys at FBI, so there's an interview there and some footage. Also, Fly's 6th birthday at the Globe. So, yeah,
great night. Yeah. So let's check out Speedy J at Chinese Laundry.
Yo, what's up? Nick here, checking it out at Technical, where tonight UK Speedy J will be laying down some wicked tracks right here in Sydney. Yep, Speedy J, aka Choc en Pois, drew in an edged crowd, and all were transported into industrial port of Notre Dame. Speedy